everyone. Welcome to Supertrash, Legends edition of the podcast. And I'm Jen.
I am Alyssa.
And today we have a super special guest. Alyssa, I need you to stop laughing at me because we are professionals. We've been doing this for like 12 weeks. But today we have an awesome guest. And it's CloneNic from Twitter.
Hello. Thank you for having me to talk about living in a trash can of Avalance. And how much I hate Damien Dark, probably. A little bit.
Oh my god, that is going to be the first 20 minutes of this podcast.
You are going to fit in perfectly with the two of us. I kind of think that we should have brought on somebody who didn't agree with all of the things that we talk about on the show.
I mean, I can hang up if that works better.
And me and you, Jen, we disagree enough about different things that it's fine.
And you know what? Today, I'm going to take up a pro Damien Dark.
Do not.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Just wait. All right, so we need to talk about this episode, which is No Country for Old Dads.
I also never saw the movie, so...
I think I did, but I don't remember. It involves dudes, so usually not my field of interest.
So I was a little sheepish because I tweeted out that picture of Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men, and I was so proud of myself for making a connection between Javier Bardem and...
Did you not know the title?
Damien Dark's wig. And I didn't know the title. And then I saw the title and I was like, oh, well, duh. Huh.
That's
Yeah.
almost as bad as you thinking Daddy Darkest was about leather bears.
Come on! Daddy!
He needs to stop calling himself Daddy before I throw myself out the nearest window. It's the most uncomfortable thing.
2 seasons ago, his cutesy thing was bearable, but it's not anymore. Like, him choking Ray and being like, oh, I didn't just keep you alive to say nothing. It's like, oh, I'm choking you. You can't speak. Ha ha ha. I can't.
It's all far too much. He's not redeemable in my eyes.
No.
He's already too far gone. His motive is what? What is his reasoning for all of this stuff with Malice? Do we know?
The writers can't get rid of him, so they just keep bringing him back? Is that his motive? Because that feels like his motive to me.
I
feel like they're better than that. These writers.
No, I don't. I actually don't. Because look at Legends of Tomorrow's history with villains. Yes, last year was good, but it was because it was an ensemble group. Their motive as a whole, kind of crappy.
Savage, that was season 1, right?
Savage was atrocious.
Yeah.
Season 1 was rough as a whole.
I mean, it did have Sarah Lance with the nurse.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm fully for Sarah Lance, but Hawkgirl was not my jam. I tried, she didn't do it for me. Savage, not a great character, but season 2 was good. Season 3 just needs to focus less on Dark, but I still love the hell out of season 3, so it's fine.
I have in my notes so over Dark.
I think all of us are. I think once he came onto screen and we realized that Dark was a significant plot line in this episode, everyone kind of let out a groan.
It was a really good time to stop and tweet.
or make gifs if you're me.
I don't know how you do that.
You are magic with the gifts.
It is...
I don't even know how to make... Like, I've tried once, and I'm like, I don't get it, and I just stopped.
It's taken me a long time, and I've almost thrown my computer at the dog in my excitement of trying to, like, switch from one computer to the other. It's a process, but I do it... Like Clark Griffin, I do it for my people.
And we appreciate it, Gifhada.
Thank you. That's my new favorite name. That's what I'm going to call myself. I'm going to change my Twitter handle to Gifhada.
Yes.
So I don't even think we need to talk more about the Dark stuff besides that he sucks, right?
No, wait. I said I was going to take a pro-Dark stance. So, what other kind of villain do we think we could even have in this universe? We need to have somebody who's, powered enough to match the Legends. I mean, they've already defeated an immortal. Yes, and how do you think you
bring
get Malice?
him?
Do you think you just snap a interdimensional demon out of thin air? No, you have to lead up to
more
it.
aberrations.
Well, I think for me the thing is, like, Dark is showing up in every single Arrowverse show, which just gets old. But there's also so many characters they could use out of the comics that could make Malice happen, that we don't need to keep going back to Dark over and over and over again. And he just keeps showing up. He's like a bad rash.
You're new here, but I don't really appreciate people coming in here and trying to prove me wrong. It just
It's
it
hard
doesn't
when you're
sit
taking
well
your
with
stance
me.
for the first time.
It's true.
Like I didn't
Score
have
one
time
for
to
Nick.
prepare. No, I agree. Dark is terrible and he needs to go away. And the creepy relationship that he has with his daughter is a little too much.
Nora doll.
And it's a shame because I love the actor. Neil McDonough is great. But I hate
Like
Dark.
I like
He
the
needs to
I
go
liked
away.
the younger version of him in this episode
No, you didn't. Shut up.
more than the new one.
I'm sorry, the one with the wig? That's the version you liked?
The Draco Malfoy on his head? No, thank you.
Not the wig part, but the part of him not being this annoying ass saying dad. You know what I mean? It was more of like, okay, he's just a villain. Not like them trying to make him cutesy.
Fair.
I just can't stand it anymore. And stop ganging up on me, guys. Stop ganging up on me.
What? That would never happen. I don't even know what you're talking about. I honestly, I wish that I could tell you more about the traits of past Dark, but I can't because I was seriously so distracted by the hair.
Okay, I'm going to bring this up now because we're on it. I need to talk about that toilet seat. So, they shot that guy in the toilet, right? And he was dead. And then all of a sudden the toilet flushed.
Oh, that was like when Ray hit someone with the back of the toilet and it made the breaking sound, and then it was in one piece in the next shot.
I didn't even notice that. I just noticed that they shot him. He was dead holding the newspaper, and then all of a sudden it flushed. And I'm like looking at his elbows. I'm like, could his elbows have hit the thing that you hit to flush? Flusher? Is that what it's called?
The handle?
Yeah. But it didn't. His elbows were down.
I didn't analyze the bathroom scene quite to the extent
I
that you
rewatched
did.
it a few times. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard a flush, and I need to verify.
If you're
And I
new
did.
to the podcast, Alyssa is obsessive to an almost frightening degree. And she notices things about scenes that no one else will ever pick up.
But then I miss like entire things.
Entire plot arcs, yes.
Yeah. But the toilet scene.
This is not where I expected my evening to go, talking about some dude on a toilet. I'm not gonna lie, I was not prepared for this part of the conversation.
We like to keep you on your toes, Nick.
It's working.
All right. Is there anything else about this episode outside of Dark
Yes.
that really just got under your skin? Ooh,
It didn't get
okay,
under
that
my
was a quick
skin.
yes.
I just, as someone that had a bunch of deadheads in my family, I felt like that was such a wasted plot line here. Like, it was just, I felt like they could have made an episode about having to go to Grateful Dead concerts. And they made it like this 2-minute thing in the beginning. And I guess, like, I didn't hate it. I just felt like I was a little disappointed.
It was unnecessary. Like, it didn't move
Yeah.
the plot forward in any way.
And if you do that, like, that could be for these misfit fools, that would be the best, that would be an amazing episode. Having them go to a Dead concert, the fact that we didn't get to see Mick there was one of the most disappointing things.
Yeah, that's a disappointment.
Especially Mick with Nate there. That, like, Mick being, like, not his people, but then having to deal with Nate, and it's not Nate's people, but in a completely different way. It was just disappointing.
I think it's also disappointing just because of everything else that was part of the main plot of this episode that felt
You mean the stuff
so
I didn't pay attention to?
flat. The stuff that that both of us did not pay attention to, with all the Nora, Ray, Dark stuff that honestly, if you asked me to explain really what happened there, I don't know that I could, because I kind of just half-heartedly watched it, and then when I went and quickly rewatched, I just watched all the Avalance parts.
What are time stones? Are those new? Have they been there before?
Time stones?
That's how Dark traveled. That's how Dark and Nora traveled back in time. Apparently they had time stones, and that's the thing that broke in her hand when she tried to go back.
Isn't that... Didn't Thawne have those? No, sorry. Thawne is the one that... Yeah, didn't Thawne give that to Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark? Didn't he give the stones to them?
That sounds
Because
right,
Thawne,
but I honestly
Thawne
don't
doesn't
remember.
need them to travel through time.
No.
I don't know.
I did not know what was going on. I didn't know why they were in that tech place. I didn't know why.
Because they had to talk to Alan.
in my opinion, that plot line ran on for far too long when there were much more interesting things going on. I wanted to see more of Amaya and Zari with their relative, and then I wanted to...
Because they're married.
They were holding hands.
They're adorable. Stop it.
Oh, I ship them so hard. It's fine.
I ship everyone on this show.
I think I ship everyone with Zari.
It's fair.
Yeah. I ship everyone with Zari. Not quite everyone with Amaya.
I'm here for Gideon and Amaya. I feel like Gideon and Amaya would be snarky and great, and I would love to see that happen.
Gideon and Zari. Definitely Gideon and Zari.
And Sarah and Gideon.
Literally, Gideon with everyone is also my problem, I think. Well, at least with all the ladies.
She's so perverted. I love it.
It's great.
You know, I wanted to see more of that with the totems. I want to understand more of that story than whatever this was with getting the formula for cold fusion.
But the issue also was that it had so many unnecessary scenes of just Damien Dark. It should have focused more on Ray and Nora. Like, why did we have that cut to scene of him talking to the dead Alan? Like, why did we have the cut to scene of him just, like, walking around by himself?
Why did we look at him swiping up on Cupid from Arrow to see if he could get matches? Like, it was unnecessary.
Oh, yeah. Why?
It was
Why
so
was that
stupid.
scene necessary? That was so dorky, and that's coming from me. Giant dork.
It was so stupid.
All right. Is there anything else about the episode, Nick, that you just did not like?
I'm having some issues with Amaya's hair the last 2 episodes.
Oh, God, yes!
Yes, okay, we are not alone.
Because she has great hair, and I don't know what's happening the last 2 episodes. And if it's her thing, as I think you guys said last week, like, let her own it. But it just doesn't look great.
Maybe it's for a different role. Maybe she's filming something else right now that we don't know about.
I don't know. Maisie's so pretty, and you look at her on her Instagram page with Clay, and it just makes my heart melt. And to see that hair on her head makes me sad.
Agreed.
That's my feeling there. No, I think Damien Dark isn't a great villain. We covered that. I think that, you know, as much as I love Legends, there's definitely parts of it where I'm like, none of this is necessary to entertain me.
But the good thing about it is there's so much good things. Like, there's never an episode where it's like only 1 or 2 good things. Like, there's so many all the small interactions between the characters can make up for a shitty plotline.
Agreed.
When Wally stole... that's jumping ahead. Should I go there, Jen? Can I skip around?
No, you can't.
Okay.
You have to make everybody wait. I get off on withholding. Yeah, no,
Okay.
Go talk about it.
Wait, so when Wally ended up stealing the totem, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a souvenir, and the pride on Sarah's face was the cute, like, and she kind of looked like you didn't see Ava, but you knew she was on the side. Like, she was like, oh, you stole that? And she had this, like, grin of being so proud of him, and then just, like, looking up to Ava to be like, see that? And there's just little things like that make the show so good that you could kind of...
She's just a proud mom.
Yeah, you could get away with these shitty storylines because there's so much good chemistry.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's save Avalance to the end.
Oh, God.
Do you think Nick is going to survive that long without talking about Avalance?
I can make it. You have the power. I'm just here in my dumpster.
I mean, there's only going to be like 3 minutes to discuss about the Zari and Maya stuff,
That
because
is
what
so
happened,
true.
I don't even know.
It was so gay, though. They were holding hands and meditating. Like, that's the gayest thing ever.
After Wally... Did Wally seem a little out of character this week?
I didn't like him calling Nate's ex-girlfriend a basic bitch.
No, did not enjoy that.
Doesn't seem like Wally. He was such a sweet little boy, you know, and he was always really respectful of everyone. And for him to just, I don't know if it was like he's going through like a rebellious phase, leaving the Flash, and he kind of wants to be a little more aggressive. But I just can't see Wally calling somebody a basic bitch. On
Or
his
like,
own.
especially to someone he's never met before. He literally just met this girl. And they're about to meditate. And he's like, yeah, Nate's ex was a basic bitch.
So that makes me think that Nate called her a basic bitch.
Oh, Nate totally did.
That seems plausible. But my thing with Wally is I want to love Wally, but I feel like they can't figure out how to write Wally. And
I love Wally no matter what.
I wanted to love him on The Flash. I didn't love him on The Flash. And I'm hoping to love him now that he's joining the Wave Rider, but I'm a little hesitant. And I feel like if they can settle into who he is as a character, I will like him more. If that makes sense. I agree.
It took me a little while to like Jax, too.
Yes.
Because he had kind of like an irritating teenager vibe that rubbed me the wrong way.
I also really disliked him when we met him in Flash.
Who? Wally or Jax?
Wally or Jax?
Jax.
Jax. Sorry, it's like there's two people on the same show.
I mean, I didn't like Stein on The Flash either.
It's very easy to hate Stein.
You think it's easy to hate Stein?
You gotta really like build up a tolerance for him, yeah.
Oh, I like Stein.
I don't think so. That's Victor Garber you're speaking about. I don't think so.
He could roll around on my screen doing nothing, and I'd probably still love him because it's Victor Garber.
But Stein is a pain. Like to me, Stein is a curmudgeon pain in the ass. Like,
but that's what I love about him is that he's a curmudgeon pain in the ass. He's like my grandfather. I think is my thing. Like my grandfather was a curmudgeon-y pain in the ass, and so.
Okay. Anyway,
I have really high hopes for Wally. I adore the actor.
He's great.
And so I think that he's just going to be so much happier on Legends because I'll be honest too, I didn't love Sarah on the first season that she was on Arrow. Season 2 of Arrow, I didn't really like Sarah Lance. I was like, why do I care about her?
Katie Lotz in and of herself has grown as an actress tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
But Sarah's been allowed to grow, too. And I think that if they can do that, if they can find how to write Wally and how to make him grow in a similar way, then I am all in. They need to find that and not have it be like Hawkgirl. And what was his name? Hawkman?
Hawkeye?
Not Hawkeye.
It's not Hawkeye?
Hawkman, yeah.
I thought it was Hawkeye.
No, I think you're thinking of Hawkeye from the Marvel movies who shoots arrows.
No, I'm just making up names that I think are right.
But I think if they can find a balance with him and really write him well, then I'm excited about that. It's just a question of getting there. Cause
I feel like out of any Arrowverse shows, Legends is the most likely to do that.
Yes, I would agree.
I think just because they let them be themselves.
And I think, again, we've discussed this a bunch, but, like, I think that's the difference between having a true ensemble show versus a singular superhero show. Like, they're all the focus. It's not like, let's see how this revolves around Barry. Let's see how this revolves around Ollie. They're all just as important. Let's see how this
revolves around Mon-El.
Oh, God. A loaf of bread. The one thing I will say, though, is if they're bringing Wally in and Rip's going to stick around, I am going to need Ava to stick around because otherwise the dude-to-lady ratio is going in a direction I don't enjoy.
I think Ava and Rip are going to be the Time Bureau.
Well, I just need Ava for season 4. That's what I need.
I can't imagine them not.
I mean, but
you've
watched
Sarah's
season.
So happy.
Exactly.
I've been heartbroken before.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my
You know what?
up.
I put money that Sarah would get killed again before Ava gets killed.
Stop it. Why would you say that? What are you doing?
I'm going to need that to not...
Get out.
Get out. You're fired.
Somebody mute her. This is... I will not stand for this. This insolence.
I don't think they'll kill Ava. I think Ava's alive and fine. I just would like to know that she comes back for season 4. Because they can always be like, she's time traveling and she could leave the Time Bureau or something and Sarah can't go back and visit her girlfriend all the time. That's my bigger fear.
Or Grodd could mysteriously show up and start squishing people. Can we talk about how ridiculous that death scene was? That was so out of left field.
It was so great. It was so good.
Like, just...
Grodd needs to be done. I have never liked Grodd.
I love Grodd. I think he's amazing.
I am never liked Grodd.
I really like Grodd, but what I need to discuss is the theories that Ava is Grodd's daughter.
Wait, what?
What?
I have read several theories that people think that Ava is Grodd's daughter, and there are a lot of theories out there that I am like, all right, fine, but Ava being Grodd's daughter, I was like, this is just, it's too much for my brain. I was like, that's not No, that's...
Well, so this comes back to something we discussed last week. When and where do you think Ava's from?
No. You are not changing the subject from this. What? I have so many questions.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Did Grodd settle down and find a nice human girl? And then I just...
I would love to give you an answer, but I read those theories and wandered myself off of Tumblr to a safe space that was not...
Oh, I'm really torn up about this. Why would they think that? That's...
I try to stay very far from Tumblr on things like this.
Sometimes it just appears. I don't always have a say in it. Sometimes it just shows up on my dash, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I also don't fully understand Tumblr still.
Oh, I don't understand Snapchat because I'm old, but I got Tumblr. That's my speech.
Jen, what don't you understand?
Well...
People thinking that Ava is Grodd's daughter.
Grodd is a giant gorilla, and Ava is not. So she doesn't... I'm not getting 1 + 1 here equals Ava.
No.
So yeah, that's what I'm not understanding. I don't know why you think that I should be understanding this. Do you understand it? Can you? Yeah.
No, I don't understand it from a logical point, but from a TV magic point, whatever.
What?
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I could also there's a lot of things that I don't think are gonna happen on TV, and it's I don't know why I'm not more upset about this, but I'm just not. It's so ridiculous. I can't even get mad about it because it's so ridiculous. I don't even know why I would put time into thinking about it.
I'm not.
I mean, I know that there are some weird things on the internet, but how? Did this theory just happen?
I don't know.
It had to have. Grodd just came on this week.
Well, he's been on the show before.
Not since Ava's been on. Can you imagine if you had this whole theory that Grodd was Ava's dad, and then all of a sudden he came on this episode, and there's we have to hide this thing about Ava, and you'd be I am so validated.
But why would you even just think that in the first place?
I don't know.
I don't know. If somebody predicted that shit before this episode,
that would be amazing.
They need to go buy some lottery tickets or something, because there is no way that there were any hints. I need a moment. Okay, so do we want to talk about our personal theories for Ava's secret now, or do we want to discuss Avalance? I'm gonna throw it out to the audience.
Did we finish Maya and Zari? We should just quickly do this. Quickly do Amara Zari so we can move on.
They held hands and it was adorable, and I think that they should be together forever. And
apparently she needs to save Kawasa. And my first thing was Kawasa? The bad granddaughter?
The bad granddaughter that you already wrote off?
My granddaughter, the good one.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't understand the thing that was going on there, and I'm so happy when they came back to the ship, they explained it very clearly of what they learned. Yeah. Because if they didn't, I would have had no idea what happened.
I had a really hard time too, because it's one of those scenes that's really dark, just visually, and I was I can't see what you're doing. It was like being back in Neverland in Once Upon a Time, where I couldn't tell what the hell was happening, and I was trying to gift things, and I was trying to pay attention, and I was it's too dark. Not because of Damien, for once.
Would you have liked Damien better this episode if he was in leather as a daddy?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
That question was for Jen.
We are different people. I just, you know what?
I mean, he's pretty, I'm not gonna lie, but it would have been alarming to hear him call Nora doll while he's dressed in leather with a little hat on.
And we were all shipping Ray and Nora, right?
Well, they're married in real life, so yes.
Well, I know, but he's not Ray in real life.
What are you talking about? It's totally
what?
It's totally a Ray in real life. He's also Superman.
Wait, this Legends isn't real?
I'm shocked.
Sarah Lance isn't a real person?
She is in my heart.
This is so concerning. All right. What other bits do you have in your notes?
Okay, bits before this. Okay. Ray puts butter in his coffee. Did we know that before?
That's a
diet.
Very popular
That's
thing
a diet
here.
plan, the keto diet, right? That's the one.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm not even gonna lie. I've done that.
It's good.
I did that for like 6 months of my life, where I was putting real butter in my coffee.
It's good.
It makes it like kind of creamy, frothy a little.
Yeah.
I'm not judging. I just.
You're judging.
When Wally called him mollusk, that was maybe one of my favorite parts, because I think we all do that. I don't think there's a single person that watches this show that hasn't called him mollusk. And then the fact that they both go at the same time, mollusk, was awesome. How did the toilet flush? Thank God for a well-timed laundry truck. That laundry truck, it's like, guys, what are we going to do? It's like, oh, look, there's an old-timey truck with laundry. Let's jump in it. Okay, I'm just going through my list really quickly. Okay, so one of my favorite things was, I really liked Ray this episode. And when after, like, the first plan messed up, this is Ray's speech to Nora. No worries, that's a classic first attempt blunder. It happens to Legends all the time, sometimes twice on the same mission. All we have to do is regroup and come up with plan B.
He's such a positive nerd. Like, he's just... The world is... He's so great.
Don't worry, we sometimes mess up twice in the same mission, but it's fine.
He's so sweet, and he's so smart and so dumb at the same time, and I just love him. He's just precious.
He is. He's precious. He's special in his own way.
Yes.
And then when he comes back to the ship and he's like, oh, Rip, nice to see you. Wait, hold on. Is it nice to see him? And he makes sure that he gets consensus from every single person before.
I mean, that's a friend thing, though. Like, if, like, an ex comes back into the group life and everybody's, like, looking around like, are we okay with this?
It's true.
Yes? No?
Especially when you weren't there for when they came.
Exactly. So, and Rip Hunter is very divisive among the Legends group. Cause of
I'm
all the things
surprised
he's
that we
done.
didn't get another line from Mick being like, thinking it was Constantine.
Mick was very absent in this episode, and it made me sad.
Me too!
Well, he starts off, and this is another one of my favorite lines of the episode, and Sarah's telling everyone what they need to do, and she's like, Nate, hit the books, like, blah, blah, blah. Rory, I'll crush a six-pack. You do what you do. He just walks away.
He's got to go write his fan fiction or his romance novel. Like, he's a busy
Exactly,
man.
his alien romance novel.
Can you join our petition that we haven't actually made a petition, but it's just me tweeting it out once a week, of trying to get the Legends writers to publish it?
I mean, I'm happy to join it, but I feel like to ask them to write a whole book just so we can read it's a lot.
I just want an excerpt.
Okay, that's
I want
fair.
one chapter. Or even one paragraph.
That's
No, more than one paragraph.
We have
I
a
want,
paragraph already. It was a little chunk, depending on how you want to qualify it. It could be a paragraph or two
I
sentences.
want a good 3 pages.
That's asking a lot. What font?
You're getting a little demanding here, Alyssa.
Not 3 pages, like,
Single space.
double spaced is fine. Or
Times New
1.5
Roman
spaced.
12, double spaced.
What are the margins?
No footnotes.
Normal. I mean, what would they footnote?
I mean,
Well, you know what? They
it's
could
Mick.
footnote being like, what planet is this from? You know what? Maybe I should just write
There
it.
you go.
You know what? Maybe you should.
I won't. When did Kawasa leave the Wave Rider? Because I don't know why I was under the impression she was still on it.
Didn't they let her go?
Oh, I missed that.
No, wait, did they let her go? That is a valid
Did I
question.
hallucinate that they let her go? It's possible.
I thought she was still on the Wave Rider.
Wait, did they let her go before the
Didn't-
Groundhog Day episode?
I thought they did because she was gonna kill Nate. I think.
Oh yeah, she did escape. That's right. The Nate
Oh.
drowning, and Amaya was kind of not concerned about Nate drowning. It was great.
So how did she leave the ship?
Through a door.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Well, she could have become water and left the ship through any opening. I mean, I have no idea if they
That's
stopped
true.
at a time that she can go to.
Alex macking it up.
Yeah, she's fine. She's just melting in
I
places.
assume that she has the ability to travel through time since she works with dark.
Yeah,
With one of those time stones.
Probably.
I think she can get from point A to point B at pretty much any time, whenever she'd like. That was too many time references in one sentence, but it's fine.
It's fine. We do us here. I was going to try to say the same. You do what you do. I was trying to quote Sarah, but I couldn't remember that very intricate line.
That is one of the things that I legit love about Sarah Lance as a captain that just did not work for Rip, because Sarah knows her team.
Yeah.
And she knows that Mick needs to have light to moderate theft. He needs to be able to drink beer at all hours of the day and just kind of be chill in order for him to work well when they need him.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that about her leadership skills.
She's a great captain.
She
My
is.
captain.
I would bend the knee for her.
You what?
Bend the knee.
Is that a saying?
Game of Thrones.
Let's
Oh,
talk about Avalance or Ava.
Both.
Let's start with Avalance and end with Ava theories.
All right, Nick, take it away.
Oh God, you're gonna just dump me right into it?
Well, you're already in the trash can.
I wanted to introduce you as the number one authority, I think, on Avalance. That's what I consider you.
I am not sure that is correct, but I know that I am firmly in the trash can of Avalance. Perhaps a dumpster.
Jen, do you concur with me?
I mean, I get around a little bit on Twitter.
You get around in general.
I get around in general. And I definitely think of Nick as the formative Avalance shipper.
Well, thank you.
You might have been the first one, that first episode, shipping the two of them.
Well, so here's the thing, is that I fell in love with Jess McCallan on Mistresses. And the minute they cast her on Legends of Tomorrow, I thought, how great would it be if they hooked her up with Sarah Lance? And so since, I don't know, mid-July, I have been praying for this moment. And the closer it got, the more in the trash can I got. And then they interacted for the first time in the first episode, and I died. And then I was resurrected and died multiple times since then. Because their chemistry, even when they hated each other, was that enemies to friends to lovers. You knew it was going to happen, and it's just gold, man. It's gold.
Because people don't get under Sarah's skin like that.
No.
Like, she's unaffected all around. Like, she doesn't, like, she'll get annoyed at someone, but she doesn't really, like, get... You're making a face, Jen. You don't agree?
No. I agree with you. We kind of talked about this last week or was it last week or the week before, where we talked about how both Ava and Sarah, when they're irritated with someone, they are able to at least maintain a professional visage. But when it's the two of them and they're angry at each other, they go for the low blows. And in the bickering antagonist behavior is just... Oh, it's so good to watch.
I feel like you're getting hot right now.
I am.
You're turned on. It's really weird to watch.
It's getting very warm in my apartment.
Just need a moment. Yeah. That feeling that you have, Nick, about Jess McCallan and Avalance, that is precisely how I felt when Katie McGrath first came onto the Supergirl scene, because I have adored Katie McGrath for so long, and then her first couple of scenes with Cara Danvers, and
you got the same outcome.
You're right. I did get the same outcome with Supercorp as Nick did with Avalance. You're right. That it only took them 2.5 seasons, or season and a half,
prove that James is her best friend.
to prove that James is the love of Lena's life. You're right.
I, too, am a huge fan of Katie McGrath, so when they cast her, I felt the same sort of... But I didn't end up in the trash can quite as quickly for that one. I don't know how... I honestly don't know where I went from, like, normal adult who's well-adjusted to most things to I live in a dumpster, and I have my friends here, and we're all happy, and we weep weekly over the interactions of Ava Sharp and Sarah Lance. Director Ava Sharp and Captain Sarah Lance, in fact.
For me, it started when I was about 11 years old.
Jenna, we don't have time for that.
All right. So Ava Lance this episode. Let's talk. Let's talk about the booty bump.
Oh my God.
Did you see that someone asked, like, oh, did Ava trip? And then Katie Lotz was like, nope, I hit her with my butt.
And I love, so that tweet was adorable because I could hear it in her voice. The sing-song lilt, I hit her with my butt.
Yeah.
The facial expressions. There's so much. Again, I think this episode, and like the past few episodes, is where you could really, like, see the growth. Like, you could see it over the last 2 seasons, but, like, to see the growth of her as an actress, I feel like for me, the things I notice most are facial expressions and, like, body
Language.
Yeah, body language that isn't necessary for the scene, but enhances it so much more.
Like when she notices that a girl likes girls, and then she does that face thing.
But like no, but this was more of like her like reacting, like when they realized that like there were dishes in the kitchen, and like the way that she was interacting between Zari and Ava in that scene, and the way that she kind of, they're two different relationships, and you could kind of see them both with who she was looking at.
Yeah.
She's really good at reading people.
Yeah. Also, can we just talk, like, Ray doesn't hate dirty dishes. He loves cleaning dishes. And to me, that is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, for some people, that's cathartic.
Yeah. I don't actually mind it.
Oof, you could come to my house anytime you want.
I have my own dishes to wash. I don't necessarily do them, but it's not like, it's not one of those tasks that I'm like, I'm not going to line myself up to do other people's dishes, but I have no qualms doing my own. It's kind of nice. Soothing.
I need a Ray Palmer in my life for many reasons. But to do my dishes is one of them.
All right.
Anyway.
Good luck with that.
Avalance. So she slept over, and it's very clear to me that she slept over in a different outfit, which means this is probably sleepover number 2.
How much
maybe
time?
3.
How much time has passed since we left them? Since
I don't
they
know, but
went
how
to find
long
the
has
room?
Ray been gone then? How long has Ray been missing that they didn't notice?
Poor Ray, they didn't notice. Ava slept over at least twice in the time that Ray was gone, and they were like, wow, it's like really quiet here. There's like no chipper, annoying bird in my ear telling me that
I didn't even think that.
Great.
I just assumed it was one night because I'm like, that would be way too mean.
I mean, to be fair, Sarah and Ava were in their own little world. Probably they wouldn't have known if the ship had blown up around them.
They were in a love bubble.
They were in a love bubble. I'm in there with them.
Oh, I'm peering from the outside.
But as much as I loved Avalance in that scene, I love Zari just as much.
Okay, but wait, can we back up before we talk about Zari and just discuss for 1 second what Sarah says to Ava before Ava gets the hip bump?
Worked up and out tight?
Yes. Because the Muppet noise that came out of me when that line was said was, it's not human. And to know that they have been at it all night is a lot for my tiny little brain to handle. And it's deadly. They're deadly, man. They're gonna kill me in the best way.
It's so adorable. I fucking love it. I love flirty Sarah Lance.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching Sarah Lance just peer across the room at a woman and go, yep, I'm gonna at least kiss that
I think I
girl
love
later.
and love Sarah Lance the most.
What's
Happy
that?
Sarah
I love
Lance.
happy and in love Sarah Lance is my favorite.
Yeah, and that was gonna be my point, is that I love flirty, like almost savage Sarah Lance, but man, do I love her in love. I love her being
I just love her
sweet
happy.
and the smiles in her eyes. Oh man, she's good.
Sarah Lance has like that faith attitude of want, take, have with women usually, and in this time she's wanting and she's taken and now she's having, and it's making her the happiest little Sarah Lance we've seen in a long time.
And I'm so afraid what that means.
I love Ava, and I really do like their relationship, but I think I do like this relationship most of all because I like seeing Sarah like this.
That's fair.
As much as I do love, yeah, there's just something that makes me so happy seeing her like this now. Like, I wish it was Nissa a little bit, but, you know.
It's like seeing a friend who finally has found the one that they want to be with, and like you're really just fully invested in rooting for them, and that's how I feel.
And they're not annoying about it.
Oh, they're totally annoying about it probably, but it's
Oh,
fine.
they're definitely annoying about it. I hate it a little bit.
It's fine. It's perfect the way it is. But yeah. So I'm sorry. You can go back to Zari now. I just had to talk about the working up an appetite.
Zari's like my number one boo.
I think Zari is my number one too. I don't know. Mick might be my number one.
Mick's your number one. Don't
Mick
lie.
is probably my number one. I'm not even gonna lie.
Zari is like 100% my number one, and like when she goes in and like, cause she's obviously the number one Avalance shipper in the world. Sorry,
Gideon
Nick.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse
Yeah.
you. Gideon is the number one Avalance shipper.
It's true.
But that was all in her head too. So it was, they're together. I mean, they're meant to be. So together, they're the number one.
What are
Gari?
you saying?
What would Gideon and Zari's shipper name be? Zidian?
I'm not good at this game. I came up with Sharp Lance.
Oh, I'm horrible at this. I can't even. I've come up with some of the worst ones.
I think I said Agent Canary.
Isn't that Alex
That's not
Danvers
bad.
and Sarah Lance?
Well, because she was Agent Sharp, and so, but that was before Agent.
No, but before they actually hooked up, there was a whole movement for Agent Canary to happen. Before.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I just assumed when I first saw them together, and then everybody, and I was like, oh yeah, they'd be really cute together. Agent Canary.
That works too, though.
I follow my hashtags very closely.
In my headcanon, Sarah is using whatever interdimensional world communication to tell Alex how in love she is. Because, like, they were talking about that. Like, you'll find someone. And Sarah's like, I found someone. You could find someone, too. That's in my head.
And unfortunately, Alex is just going to find Rain.
They're gonna be in love, and they are going to raise Ruby together. And that's the only way Ruby's allowed to be in this show.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm not even going to go down that road, because then we're going to be here for 100 years talking about how I'm afraid of what they're going to do with Alex.
We are shipper trash. This is what we do.
You should hear some of my earlier stuff about Ruby.
Well, you've seen my tweets about it, so I'm pretty sure that it's probably the same.
It's brutal. All right, so Zari was adorable.
Wait, I'm going to read it, and then we can edit it out. So he's like, can we take the Wave Rider to Mount St. Helen? Psych. That would not be a cool thing to do. This is a very important time vehicle. We would never use it for recreational use. And she just looks back and forth. And the way that Sarah looks at Ava during this, and she's like, yeah, listen to her.
The way Zari says, it's nice to see you again in the clothes you were wearing yesterday.
Yes. And then she zips up her shirt like, oh yeah, that's going to change anything.
So good. So good.
Zari is so snarky.
Oh, I love her.
Freaking
She
love
should
it.
marry me. Anyway.
So, more Avalance.
Ava's reaction when Gary shows up, when they have the call from the Time Bureau, when she chokes on her French toast. So good. That quiet moment they have, which Rip creepily stalks in the background.
When they're holding hands.
They're holding hands while they're kissing after Sarah's throwing ninja stars because she's the hottest thing ever.
And she was throwing them because she was angry about the Ava stuff too, right? Like, she was angry that, like, Ava was like, no, we're not together.
I don't know that she was angry. I thought she was surprised.
Oh, I thought
didn't
that was
necessarily
part of the aggression.
I feel like if she was really angry, they would have talked it out more than just saying, let's go back to the nonverbal communication, which is my favorite thing, and they can nonverbally communicate all they want.
Especially from a side view.
Yeah.
Where we get to see
I'm here for the side view.
all of it.
Yeah.
Even if Rip is creepily in the background, like you said.
I kind of wanted Katrina Law to take that image too and put her face in it.
I tried to make that happen, and I couldn't do it. I was like, I have too much to do. I'm too busy gifing this, but I tried to see if I could actually put a gif of Katrina Law in the background of the gif of Sarah and Sarah and Ava kissing. So I was like, that would be the golden moment in my life if I could make that happen, but I couldn't.
Next time, they'll kiss again, and someone will be watching the background, and I have faith in you.
Thank you. I don't have faith in me on that one, but I appreciate the sentiment. But they're just, and the height difference, and I just love everything about them, and it's warm in my trash can with my friends.
Why are they so important to
I
think?
honestly couldn't. I've actually talked to people about this, trying to figure out how we ended up here so quickly. And I can't figure out what it is. I think it's something about my love for Sarah Lance is part of it, and seeing her finally happy. But there's just, I couldn't tell you why they've affected me the way they have. It's different from, like, a character like Lexa, who I have loved, and, you know, she's an incredible character, and I will forever love her. I got her back tattooed on my leg, so, like, clearly I am attached. But I can tell you what it is about Lexa as a character that I love. I can't explain why I love Ava and Sarah together as much as I do. Separately, I can tell you why I love them. Together, they're just magic. I feel like it's like Sesame Street.
So you guys are only listening to this, but I want you to know there is a twinkle in both of Nick's eyes right now. She is
I can see. Well, it's hot.
with happiness.
It's genuinely hot in my apartment.
It's
No, it really
it's
is.
really fucking adorable right now watching how happy she gets talking about Avalance. It's very clear that this ship is
My
important to her.
therapist even commented on it the other day. She was like, "You're so happy right now," and I was like,
Does she follow you? Oh, I thought she
"No,
followed
this
you on
was
Twitter.
this was in therapy." Because I was talking about how I was doing this with you guys, And so I had to talk about it. She was like, what are you talking about? Because she doesn't understand any of this, which is fine. And she was like, can I listen to your podcast? And I was like, I mean, I guess if you really want. But she's like, it's so great to hear you happy. And I'm like, I'm going to be 35 and I'm losing my goddamn mind over 2 fictional lesbians. So I'm glad you think this is acceptable because I sometimes question it.
I am very good at avoidance in therapy. I don't talk about this shit at all.
If I can talk about this instead of my problems, this is fine.
Oh no, I talked about the Oscar for a good 20 minutes this week. But I'm trying to think is there a ship like that for you, Jen?
Xena and Gabrielle.
Excellent choice.
Okay.
That is a ship that I have sailed for many a year.
Same.
That ship got me through. Xena is still the show that I go back and watch when I'm in a really crappy mood. There is something about their relationship that really
Just gals being pals in the bathtub together.
Gals being pals in the hot tub together, watching each other's backs.
Well, you know I haven't seen it all.
It's such.
I tried. It's just so campy.
I
know,
but
that's why it's
that's
so
the charm.
good. Oh my goodness. Xena is just, man.
I think Root and Shaw are mine.
That's an excellent one.
Or the closest thing to me.
My love for them is strong too. I think I have a lot of loves.
When Root, so that and do either of you watch Wentworth?
Yeah.
Are you caught up?
There's not a new season, right?
Okay, so yeah, enough. You're 2 seasons. Spoiler alert, anyone that doesn't watch. When B died,
oh god,
and I think it was about around the same time that Root died. I was depressed for weeks. I felt like I can't even explain to you. Or it wasn't around the same time. I think it was. I was trying to explain to my friend, who is a huge Person of Interest fan. I'm like, it's like how I felt when Root died, but times 5.
Yeah.
I think B and Allie was a huge one for me too.
Yeah, that's a good one. But Root's
those
not
two,
dead,
like,
by the way, just so we can talk about that. Root's alive.
Huh?
Root's alive. No.
Oh, Root.
No one
I
will
mean,
convince me that Root is dead. Ever.
Okay. I thought you said B was alive. I'm like, I'm pretty sure B is very much
B
dead.
is very dead, sadly. She is very much in the ground.
And Jen is like, I don't know who any of these people are.
I've watched the first episode of Wentworth.
It's a good show. It's dark. It's hard. But
yeah. Alyssa is really disappointed in all of my TV watching habits. There are several shows that she has tried for a long time.
Yeah, because I'm like, you should watch this, and then she watches shit shows instead.
you know, we all have to find our joy somewhere.
I watched her to watch Grey's. I was very proud of that.
Yeah, until that very awful bad thing happened and I had to stop watching it.
There's so many horrible things that have happened on Grey's Anatomy.
The plane crash that killed my favorite
Oh,
character.
yeah, that's fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was done. I
mean, I thought at first you were talking about the shooting and then that, and then it could be the
no, I don't care
storm.
about that.
I can't
Kill
guess.
Derek. I don't care about Derek.
No, nobody cares about Derek. That's not true. I'm sure somebody does. But yeah, no, I don't know what it is about these two. It's similar to Root and Shaw for me, but Root and Shaw happened more slowly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This was just,
And it was aired very differently.
yeah, and like you saw this, it was a super slow burn between the two of them. It was like 2.5 seasons of slow burn practically. But yeah, so I don't know. I love them, and I have to get a tattoo of them. I don't know what it's gonna be, but that's how much I love them.
What would the two together be for a tattoo?
I had a really good idea till I realized it was solely Sarah, and I was like, that's unfortunate. It was going to be a canary being shot, like, impaled by a lance, and then I was like, no, that's a lance and a canary, not an ancient and a canary.
And it's kind of mocking Jay from the Hunger Games a little bit.
But what if
yeah.
Ava is Grodd's daughter, and it could be
Stop it. Stop it. You are not allowed to talk anymore.
It's a rope. It's just
Stop it.
it's a canary and a gorilla.
Go take a time out, Alyssa. I will not stand for this bestiality nonsense on this podcast. All right. I think for me personally, we've talked about this a little bit, Alyssa.
Did we?
You're still not allowed to talk. And that we like Avalance so much because there was never any big to-do about she's gay. she's bi. She's, there was no coming out scene with Ava. It was just these two adults who looked at each other and felt a connection and pursued a romance. And
would you not say that her saying "I'm not the husband kind" was kind of a coming out?
But there wasn't like a whole big,
there was like a very special episode
conversation or dialogue between the two of them. It was just okay. Like it was very accepting, I think.
I think "I'm not the husband kind" can also be like, I'm not getting married. Period. I'm a career person.
That's
a fair point. I would never have gone that way, but that was if you're a woman telling me you're not the husband kind, I'm just going to assume you're gay.
I mean, they need to give the straight people something.
They have like 8 characters. They're fine.
Okay. Oh wait, am I allowed to talk yet, Jen?
You're staying on topic, on a healthy topic, so I'm gonna allow it for now. Yeah, so I like that, and I think too, for me, I do love Sarah Lance. I think that she's a phenomenal character. She was the entire reason why I stuck with Legends through the first season. And so she has had such a rough go of life in general. So for her to find happiness, I'm going to latch onto that. I want to see Sarah Lance happy. I want to see her, that giddy, adorable, butt-bumping person in the morning. It's
too much.
I know that because it's the CW, it's not going to last. And it's probably going to come crashing down in one episode because that's how they do things. But for now, I am so invested in this relationship, and I'm so happy for them.
I also have to say, I really like that they juxtapose this with her going immediately, as soon as something happens, to be in captain mode.
Yeah.
This relationship's not affecting her job. This relationship, and that's what's so great about this, is that they are on the same page.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the same thing, and they also understand that both of their jobs are very important, and that they're going to do them, and that if they do have to run away on a date, it's fine, because they both understand what's at stake. But they also understand that they're important to each other, and I think that was really great. It was like the cute morning after, but it was like, Ray's gone, we gotta focus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mick, have some beer, we're doing our thing.
I trust these writers. I don't know if I should, but I do.
I mean, they've given us no reason not to up to this point.
I feel like whatever the big thing is, which we haven't talked about yet, about Ava, isn't gonna be. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think Jordan on Twitter said this to me the other day. She was like, I think that Rip is trying to protect Ava or Sarah from something and is doing it the wrong way. And I see that
like
being,
he does most things.
So I'm less worried about things crashing down, and I know that it's going to be bumpy, but it's TV, so I don't expect it to be smooth. But I don't think anything horrible is going to happen. I could be wrong, but
I think they also just wanted a British guy to say Zed.
True.
I'm like convinced that that's like half the time of what they do.
So I think that that's actually a good transition then to talk about what we think Ava's secret is. Does anyone have any theories besides this Grodd nonsense?
I know what
that
I
will
think
hear
it's
no
not.
more?
I've decided that other people's theories are wrong, but I haven't decided my own is
Okay,
right.
well, which theories do you think are wrong?
I mean, I don't fully agree with Nick's.
it's fair. You don't have to.
So
agree
Nick,
with mine.
you could give yours.
Since they talked about the 6th totem, I've wondered if Ava's not the bearer of the 6th totem unknowingly.
Wasn't there a reference to Zari being the 6th?
You're one of the 6.
Yeah, I think they said like it's the 6th, but I don't think it was like they think there's still one missing.
There's still one missing. There's someone isn't running one of them, I think.
Yeah. The reason I don't think that's it is because I don't understand why that would be a secret. Why would they're looking for that? So I don't understand, like, unless Grodd gave it to her.
Why did you do that?
So I just don't understand why that would be something that needed to be hidden.
We don't know what the 6th totem is. Nobody does. 6th totem could be.
I literally in my head think of it as a hemorrhoid every time because of the way last week's episode started. I know that was supposed to be Mollis.
Like Mollis is the hemorrhoid, not the totem.
I know, but every time I think of the 6th hemorrhoid, every time I think of the 6th totem, I see a hemorrhoid.
So
are there other theories that you disagree with, Alyssa?
Grodd. I disagree with that one.
Thank God.
I don't think she.
I don't think that Ava knows. So I kind of think that Ava is Rip's daughter.
Ooh, wait, no, but he only had a son.
We don't know that.
He did. But I think that Rip, in his everlasting search to save his wife and son, and given that he has kind of a romantic thing with Gideon, he probably could have fallen in love with somebody else at some other point, and they had a baby, and he saved the baby and brought it to the Time Bureau, which is how Ava ends up there.
New theory, Ava's, Gideon's, and Rip's child.
I don't think that. She's not a robot. That's not what I'm saying.
See, I don't know that I go with that simply because at one point Ava talks about being recruited by Rip.
Yeah, that makes even more sense.
But I think that Rip would keep that secret from Ava. I don't think that Rip would tell Ava that he's her father.
But I mean that, like, there's something, I think, maybe it's a fan fiction I read, actually. Shit, I don't remember. Where when she was recruited from another agency, which would give her a time period that she would know where she was from. It could have been the fan fiction I read that's really cute, where Ava brings Sarah home for Christmas.
I think I do remember that too, and maybe it's just confirmation bias because she's saying it, and so now I'm like, oh wait, yeah, maybe that's it. But she might be right. But the only reason why I even thought that, because I hate that if that's the truth, but the only reason I thought it is because last week, Rip referred to both Sarah and Ava as his prodigies, and so in my mind, Rip wouldn't have worked at the Time Bureau for long enough for Ava to become a prodigy.
He's been there for
you know what
5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it that long?
Yeah, because he was the future, and then he came back and there were dinosaurs.
Okay, well maybe I should know that stuff before I start throwing out these willy-nilly theories.
I mean, I don't think that yours are not the most out there out of all of them.
I mean, well, clearly there are people who think that Grodd is Ava's father. So...
Jen, why'd you bring that up? I thought we weren't bringing that up anymore.
Because it's really disturbing me. It's almost as disturbing as the wigs from last week.
True.
Or Dark's wig
and this
from
week.
this week.
Or Amaya's hair.
Oh, poor Amaya.
No, it's different because Amaya is so beautiful.
And it might be her choice, and we cannot judge her on that.
Can I jump to something else really quickly that, since we're talking about Rip and Ava, is that
Sure.
After Rip says to Gideon to delete file 374Z or whatever it was called, Gideon says, yes, Director Sharp, or Director Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't know
everyone else
Yeah.
has called him Agent. And I don't really know what that means, but I thought it was odd because Gideon was clearly on board when they started calling Ava Director Sharp.
So I think that there is something between, I don't know if it's just romantic, but I think that there is something between Rip and Gideon where Rip always has an override to Gideon.
Fair.
But wouldn't that be Captain? That would be Captain.
No, I know. But I think that also with the Time Bureau, Rip probably has fail-safes or something that would lead Gideon to think that. I don't know. I noticed that too, and I couldn't puzzle out what it would mean.
Yeah, I got nothing on what it means, but I thought someone pointed it out, and I thought, interesting. Yes.
If it's like the only thing that I could think of is that if it's wiping a piece of history or something that would allow Ava to inherit the directorship.
Maybe.
Which would mean going back in time and then wiping the memories of people who would know that she was director, making him director.
No, I can see that being a... We don't know how much of history Rip has actually messed with. So that makes it...
All of it. That's what I assume. Every single bit that can be messed with, he's messed with, and then he just blames everything on the legends.
Yeah, I think that... Because I do think, especially the way that Gideon said Director Hunter, it was foreboding.
Yeah.
So do you think Ava's gonna die?
No.
No. I think that... I don't think that Ava's gonna die. I think that Rip is influencing the Time Bureau because he's in trouble with the Time Bureau. And Ava is going to stick to her guns with how she treats Rip. You know, he's being punished. He's messed with time too much.
I thought he wasn't going to be punished.
He's gone rogue. I don't think that she would let him have the same amount of power that he had before, because he can't be trusted. And so Rip, being selfish like he is, would find a way to manipulate all of the things within the Time Bureau or time itself or whatever to give himself that power over the Time Bureau to probably, in his mind, make up for the fact that he fucked up with Dark.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so he wouldn't want Sarah to know that, because if Sarah knows that, she'll fight him again.
I don't know. I want to think the best of Rip. I know that he, like, proves me wrong every time. But, like, I don't know. Like, I like Rip for the most part.
I want to like Rip because I love Arthur Darvill, but he will always be Rory to me, and I can't get past his douchebaggery as Rip.
I can't stand him. I hate him. I've never watched Doctor Who, so I don't have that connection to him.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that is why I want to like him.
He had really good hair last year. That was about it for me. His hair game was on point, but
he's so hypocritical. It's frustrating. Like, it's similar to the way that Harold in Person of Interest. It's just like, you're so into what's right, but only when it's you. He's like, oh, you can never fuck up the timeline, except if it's about me and my family. And I thought, like, he got over that, and I thought he was being better in the beginning of this season, at least. And then it was like, no, he's not. Like, he has these glimpses of, oh, he's being a better human, and then he goes back.
It's true.
I mean, I do think that he has good intentions.
Yeah, but it's, again,
They're selfish intentions, though.
And when you have when your morals only apply when you feel like it, or only apply to situations that you think are right, then nothing you do is ever ethical.
True.
Or morally words of things that I can't think of words right now. Jen, help me out.
No, you're good. Keep going. I want to see where this goes.
No, it's just really frustrating because it's like you have nothing to stand on. If you say you have these principles, your principles have to apply throughout. And again, I'm thinking of Harold a lot now.
No, it's right though.
And the same with Rip. It's like you can't tell people that they can't fuck with time when you fuck with time all the time. Wow. Okay.
Hey, you sound like me. Dropping all those F-bombs.
A lot of time.
And, okay, so say you realize you're wrong. And this is where I keep thinking that he's doing it. He's like, I'm going to make amends. And then he goes right back to it. Fucking with time again. And then blaming it, like, then yelling at the legends for fucking with time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought for a while that Rip is the Legend's greatest enemy.
Agreed.
Because he knows how they work inside and out. He knows how to...
You mean purposefully?
But, I mean, I think...
Like as a villain?
Intentionally and unintentionally. I don't think that he's a villain per se, but I definitely think that he is at best, an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. Because he has consistently shown us that he will put what he thinks is best above the good of the team, above the good of the world. And that his knowledge is somehow superior to everyone else's because of either his experience or his being from the future or what have you. You know, he thinks that his decisions are right and you don't know what you're doing, so I'm just going to override everything that you're doing and kind of muck it all up and try to fix it in my own way. And that's what he tried to do with Dark. That's what he tried to do with Savage. And he's failed at every attempt at this.
Them getting rid of him for season 2 was the best thing they did. Like,
agreed.
That it just made the show better and less focused on him and his hypocrisy and his just asinine beliefs that he could fix everything.
And I think that he is going to be the reason why Malice shows up.
Oh yeah.
Because the more that I think about this directorship thing, the more that I'm falling into that theory, in that he is manipulating this so that he can become director.
You think that he's purposely doing that?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, I think that Rip would purposefully make himself director
because he thinks that that needs to happen in order for him to fix everything, or just because he wants the power.
No, I don't think that he wants just the power. I don't think that he is quite villain levels yet. I think that
I don't think he'll ever
thinks
be.
that I think that he thinks that he will be the best director to fix the situation. Maybe in his mind, Ava's not ready. Ava's not willing to make the hard calls. Maybe it's even something with Sarah's connection to Malice, where Ava won't be able to make that call if Sarah becomes possessed by Malice.
Do you think it has anything to do if you're? Do you think that Ava is his daughter? Yes, no, I can't remember who thinks what anymore.
I don't actually think that, but I could see them going that route.
But if that's the case, then that would make sense because he would then try to protect his daughter, and having her as director might be more risky than having her as just an agent.
Well, I don't think that he thinks that Ava would be able to make the hard call to sacrifice Sarah if...
No, that's the woman she loves. Jesus.
Well,
Exactly.
question.
Because...
Do you think Grodd is going to come back, or do you think that was a single thing?
What are we doing?
What is
more
with
monkey.
Grodd?
Because I was thinking about
she
Hamilton.
knows that theory really bothers me to my core.
I was thinking about Hamilton, and then I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about the...
I do think we'll see Grodd again.
Oh, God, I hate Grodd so much.
I like Grodd.
You talk about him a lot for somebody who hates him.
Yeah, because it was annoying you.
Jesse Quick's coming, too, so I wouldn't be surprised if that has been with Grodd.
Yes. I'm so excited for Jesse Quick. We had a whole conversation about it last week about what we think Speedster sex on the Wave Rider would be like.
So good.
She was on The Flash tonight.
Was she? I'm so behind.
It's not very good.
I'm trying to catch up. I just got to the episode with, oh my God, Barry went into the future and like emo Barry, long hair, greasy. I almost threw up in my mouth. I actually had to pause it and walk away from my TV because I'm like, this is way too much.
Oh, The Flash, how far you've fallen.
That was so bad.
Anyway, I'm trying to rein you in here.
No more Grodd.
Okay, well, should we wrap up?
Well, no, I mean, is there anything else about these theories or anything with this episode that we want?
I don't see. For me,
to
I guess
discuss?
I'll listen to other people's theories. I don't feel strongly enough about one thing to like have a theory yet, if that makes sense. I don't like grasping onto theories unless I have enough.
We are different people. Different people.
Yeah.
I don't think I know people are thinking she might be a robot because of the episode title, I, Ava. I don't think she's a robot. I think that...
No, it's about I, Tanya. She's gonna like knock someone's knees out. Sorry, I'm kidding.
I mean, I maybe it seems unlikely, but you never know. Maybe she'll take up like a Root and Shaw thing and just start shooting people in the kneecaps. But I don't know that I'm necessarily latched on to my theory. But of the ones I've heard, it's the one I'm most comfortable with because I don't see her being a robot. I don't see her being the child of things that need to not be spoken. I could maybe see her being Rip's daughter, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's...
Well, so Jen, you made the twit poll. Why? What was the reasons that you put those options up?
So I thought something with Sarah's past or something with Laurel because
those haven't come up in this conversation.
They haven't. Because I think that Ava might have unknowingly influenced those things to happen. Maybe there is some connection to things that Ava has done at the Time Bureau that would lead to Laurel's death.
Did you think that partially because of last week when Sarah was talking about her sister and she's like, you seem like you know this already? Do you think that was a lie when she's like, oh, I read up on your file? Probably.
I mean, I don't know. I think it just because Dark has been such an ever-present villain, and so he is a constant reminder to Sarah of what happened to her sister. And so I think that at some point there has to be some final confrontation between Sarah Lance and Damien Dark because of Laurel. And I'm afraid that something is going to come from that confrontation that leads to exposing Ava's connection to it. That's what I thought at first. I don't know. I actually kind of think the Rip directorship might be more likely.
So we're all in agreement, though, that we think that Ava's just as in the dark as Sarah is about whatever this information is, right?
Oh, I don't think Ava has any idea that she's something special.
Yeah.
She just thinks Sarah is something special.
That's because she is.
They're so special together. How did Laurel die again? I don't...
Damien Dark killed her.
But no, because she was fine and then she died. So
Didn't she come back? Is she back on Arrow?
that's Black Siren. She was in the hospital bed and she was like, I'm fine. And then like 5 minutes later she was dead, and I just remember being annoyed. But I don't remember.
I thought that was because she was lying.
Because the doctor's cleared, like, the doctor's like, oh, she's fine, is what I thought, and then she died randomly. It all seemed poorly written to me, but Arrow kind of is. And I don't remember how she actually died.
See, I kind of got the impression from watching that scene, and I've only watched it the one time because it made me so angry that she knew that she was going to die, so she gave that whole speech to Ollie to kind of motivate him to keep going, to keep being a hero.
Right, I remember that part. It's right, I just Googled it. Dark stabbed her. But I remember that she was in the hospital bed, and then they were like, oh, she's fine, she made it through or whatever, and then it was like all of a sudden, like, she went from 0 to 60, or 60 to 0, I guess, technically, and just did her little speech and died.
Do you think that could be a dramatic effect, like what they do on Grey's, like someone's fine and they died?
I mean, I think they do that kind of stuff on Arrow.
The writers needed to kill someone because they put a headstone in the like first episode of the season and picked Laurel and then wrote it crappily.
I mean, I've written quite a few articles about how angry that whole plot line made
so
me.
bad. But no, so it could be that it goes back to that and Ava, but I feel like that's almost for Ava to be like a cause of that seems almost cruel.
I don't think that she's a knowing cause.
But I think for the writers to make her a cause in some capacity would be almost cruel. And I don't know that I think they're in her for the drama, but I don't think they're really like, let's try and heartbreak Sarah as much as humanly possible. Because they seem to kind of like Sarah as a character, and they don't want to destroy her like the Arrow people do. But I mean, like, there's a difference between how Arrow treats its characters and how Legends treats its characters.
Agreed. I agree, and I don't want to think that they are that level of cruel.
I don't think they are personally, but who knows? Only time will tell.
It would be a weird change. It would be a very
it would change the whole tone of the show in my book.
Tonal change.
But what do I know? I just watch the show and yell about it.
Like, even when Stein died, which I get, that didn't have to happen that way.
No.
He did not have to get killed by fucking Nazis. The one Jew did not have to get killed by Nazis. The other Jew didn't need to be in a fucking concentration camp.
Nope.
If you want to know our true feelings about all of the crossover episodes, go check out our previous podcasts, because Alyssa and I get very loud and angry about all of these happening.
I have very, very strong feelings on that. But, like, even they dealt with that really well after he died. Like, well enough. Like, okay, they're having Snart there with the, like, you know what I mean? They made it, like, enough emotional, but also not, like, just the only thing that was going on.
They're not trying to hurt you just to hurt you on Legends, it seems. Like, it's not always necessarily the right thing, like the right death or whatever, but, like, they try to handle it as best they can, whereas I feel like on some of the other Arrowverse shows, it's just like, we're going to kill this person because we don't know what to do with them and enjoy their death. And I think that's the difference for me with Legends and all the other Arrowverse, well, at least the Flash and Arrow. Supergirl I wouldn't necessarily put in the same.
No, they just keep the character around when they don't know what to do with them and have them date Lena.
It's true. That's such a train wreck, but we're not going to get into that now.
Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
A little bit of housekeeping really quick. We haven't forgotten about the name change, but we are going to discuss it a little bit more next week when we have finalized our thoughts on whether or not we want to be super trash, super gay, super trash, whatever Alyssa and I decide.
Super gay trash.
Super gay trash. We are just living in our trash can.
See, I actually think super gay trash is worse because it makes it seem like we think people that are gay are trash. Like, I think, like, if I'm just worried because of that. Like,
but we all are. Like,
I am gay and I am trash. It's true.
I mean, that's. I feel like that's a pretty accurate description of me. So.
I mean, I think the criticism, though, is if someone sees it, will they be offended if they don't know who we are yet?
I think you're always at the risk of offending someone.
That's true.
That would be my...
We brought Nick on for her wise words. Nick, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at CloneNic and on Tumblr, and I don't actually know what my handle is, but if you follow me on Twitter, you'll find me on Tumblr eventually.
It says you're addicted to tattoos. That's how I always know.
Yes, that would be accurate. I'm going for one on Friday, so stay tuned for that.
Ooh, didn't you just get one?
Yeah, but I got a small one. This is
Oh,
not going to be a small one.
Ooh.
And if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Jen Stayrook.
And if you want to find me, Alyssa, you can find me at TV with APB. If you want to follow us, we are at Supertrashcast. And you can email us at supertrashcast@gmail.com. Also, if you guys want to put a review up on either iTunes or anywhere you listen, that would be great. That will help us with getting promoted, I think. I'm not actually sure how it works, but I've heard that it helps out with things. So.
And if you just want to leave us comments on Twitter or in an email or something, we like those.
Just tell them how great
But
they
be
are.
nice. Tell Jen how great she is. Tell me what you think we can improve on. Okay?
All right. Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye.
Bye.